Hello and welcome to pmplounge.com. This is Lounge Fever, wherein we tackle your burning questions. The question for today is, how many process groups can a process be a part of? Now, of course, this question is right out of the PGKA mapping, which is the process group and knowledge area mapping. As of PMBOK 5, we have 47 processes as a part of the PGKA mapping. Now, each process, can it be a part of multiple groups? If so, how many groups? Is there um, an upper limit to how many process groups can a process be a part of? So that's a question we are tackling today. Let's get into it. And the right answer to this question is that it is a wrong question. Now, it is a wrong question because each process belongs to only one process group. So we have 47 processes across the PGKA mapping. Each process is unique to its own process group. Now, a good question to kind of go over is, how do we learn these 47 processes in the PGK mapping? And we have already done a video on, not a video, but actually an article on why it is important to kind of understand the PGK mapping. It is not necessary to kind of mug up the entire 47 processes, but if you are aware of those processes, it is going to be a good idea to have it as part of your brain dump, and you can kind of have a look at it as and when you want to during the exam. So each process, like I said, belongs to only one process group. Understanding how these processes interact with each other is actually more important than mugging up the entire PGKA mapping. All right, so if you want to kind of remember how all these processes interact and which process is part of which process group, it's important to know these points. So if a process is talking about defining the high level goals, then it is an initiating process. All right. It is a planning process if it's planning the work that needs to be done on the project. Now, a key to remember here is this process, whichever process, in fact, that is only planning the project work, not doing the actual project work, just planning the project work. Those processes are part of the planning process group. It is an executing process if you're actually doing the project work. So, like I mentioned in the previous point, it will be a planning process if you're only planning the work that needs to be done and not doing the actual work. But if you're doing the actual work, that process will be a part of the executing process group. It is a monitoring and controlling process if you're tracking or finding problems. So if you're tracking the status of the project, tracking where you are right now, uh, in any of the cycle, in any of the phase of the project, if you're tracking all of that, you're in monitoring and controlling process. If you're finding problems in your project, you are in the monitoring and controlling process group, that is. And it is a closing process if you're finishing stuff after you have delivered the product. So you've already delivered the product and you're just closing things off, you're finishing the product, finishing the stuff. That process is basically a part of the closing process group. So that is how you can kind of make out which process group a particular process is a part of. Like I said, it is not mandatory to learn the entire PGKA mapping, but it is more important that you understand how these processes interact with each other. As long as you understand the interaction of these processes, you should be good to go and clear your PMP exam. And that is all that we had with Lounge Fever. You can comment your question or you can hit us up on our social media, facebook.com/PMP Lounge and twitter.com/PMP Lounge. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done it already. And as always, check out the website pmplounge.com for some of the free and the best project management related articles, the industry articles, as well as certification articles that are going to be very helpful with your exam. Thank you.